Hey, sixth grade. It's Wednesday, and you guys are taking a test today. And so, not really any teaching out here today. Just you can take the test either in your bag. You should have had a paper copy of two tests, and the one for today is chapter 12. Okay, and if we make it far enough, not knowing whether we will or not, but if we did, then there would be chapter 13 test towards the end of next week. If not, if we don't get there, we don't get there, okay? So, just wanted to mention that. Wanted to mention a couple other things real quick. Like I explained to the people that were here in class, I had gone to just doing one lesson a day because it was getting to be overwhelming and people were having a hard time keeping up. All right. And like I explained to the guys in class on Monday, I looked at some of these lessons coming up, and some of them were real closely related. Like one lesson was finding the volume of a rectangular prism, and the next lesson was finding the volume of a cube. Very, very similar. A cube is just a special kind of rectangular prism, and the equation to find the volume of a rectangular prism or a cube is the same. So I really thought, and forgive me if that was an error on my part, but I really thought that we could have those two lessons together, okay? And so because of that, I doubled up on those lessons, and I really looked at the ones ahead, and I really did think that they were related and could go together. Okay? Apologize for any problems that's caused, and so here's what I'm going to do. All right? For after this test, okay, going forward, for the rest of this week and then next week, we'll just be doing one lesson at a time. All right? And so that hopefully will kind of relieve some of the pressure and that kind of thing. And I never intended to make things more difficult for you. All right? Another thing I wanted to mention was, and this kind of just came up the other day with a question from somebody. I think that some of you, when you're looking at the slides, the Google Slides, you're just looking at the slides over on the left side of the screen, and you're clicking on those one at a time. And sometimes it gets all jumbled up because you're just looking at it over there, and some of those slides have different parts that come in at different times, but when you're looking at it just over there, it's all piled up and overlapping and all right? So I mentioned it the other day, but I'll mention again. When you open up the slideshow, up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a button there that says Present. If you click on Present, then it'll give you one slide at a time. And if there's more parts to the slide than just one, as you click on your mouse, each time you click on your mouse, it'll bring that next piece in. So you won't see them all piled up on top of each other where it's hard to read. Okay? And it will just take you to the very end. And depending, at the last slide, after the last slide, it will just pop out, escape, and go back to that view with all the slides over on the left, or it'll just sit there on that last slide until you hit escape. All right? Hope that helps with some of those problems. All right? And then, the other thing, and it was really, I think it's only happened with the reading, okay? But there's some times like when I'm putting something together and I'm not done with it yet, and I hit draft, and it'll save it as a draft, and then when I go back and make my final changes, then I go up and there's a button for me that says assign, but there's a drop down menu to the right of it, and when I click on that, it'll say, I think it says edit, schedule, or save as draft. All right? And so what I typically do then is I go up and I pull down and I click on schedule, and then it gives me an option of when to schedule it, and I've always been choosing 8 o'clock the next day. All right? There's a couple of times that evidently I hit save as draft instead of schedule, and because they're right by their save or schedule is right in the middle, and save as draft is right underneath it. So whatever, I don't know, but it looks like by accident I hit save as draft, and I thought I had hit schedule. So it wasn't until somebody said something the next day that I realized that it didn't actually put it out there for you. So I apologize for that. It's just, it happens, after we teach in the morning, then in the afternoon, we're either getting our next lessons ready and making the videos, or we're grading papers. Sometimes I don't actually see your stuff out there, your comments or whatever, until later in the evening. So that's why, like the other night, the reading assignment hadn't been there all day, and I saw it at 7 o'clock at night and changed it then. All right? So, I'm sorry, those things happen, and not making any excuses. I'm just telling you how it, what happened, I think. All right? So, anyway, so hope you do well on the test, and then tomorrow we'll start the new chapter, and and then again, on the master list, we're just going to change up the master list just a little bit. So where it shows 2 lessons, we're just going to split that. All right, so I think, let's see, looking at my master list, I had on for you on Thursday to do lesson 114 and 115. So we'll just split that. So Thursday will be lesson 114, and Friday will be lesson 115. Okay, and then next week, again, the master list, I'll modify the master list so that there's just 1 lesson each week, or each day. Okay? So sorry about any confusion, any problems there, anything that caused any problems, for you or for your parents or whatever. So we'll just keep plugging away and keep learning, and obviously we're still going to make mistakes and hopefully learn from our mistakes. So anyway, there you go. Again, good luck on the test, and we'll see you out here again on Thursday.